Evening, all my hellacious Halloween-loving himbos. Den here. I hope you all had a lovely All Hallows Eve. I'm sure I had one of the most of all time. But even though this video is going to be posted the day after Halloween, I still wanted to get into the holiday spirit a little bit. As you can see, I have dressed for the occasion. And that's why today's tier list is going to be famous pointy guitars. Today we're going to be looking at guitars that could easily be used as weapons during a zombie apocalypse. Before I was seduced by an old mistress known as the Les Paul, when I first got into guitars, I was all about the pointy stuff. And that's why my first real electric guitar was a BC Rich Kerry King V, and it was so bad. I'm sure there are plenty of dangerously pointy looking guitars out there that I did not include in this tier list, so please don't kill me. If I missed your favorite one, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. Maybe we could do a part 2 of the pointy guitar tier list. I'll probably save that for like next Halloween though. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, thanks for 30,000 subs, dude. Holy shit. You know, it took me 4 years to get my first 10,000 subs, and then it took me another 4 years to get to 20,000. And then I switched to just making guitar content, and I hit 30,000 subs within a year. I guess that was a good choice, wasn't it? Whenever I hit these big subscriber landmarks, I like to do little Q&As, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. So if you guys want to, you can go down there and ask me a question in the comments. It could be about guitars, it could be about butterfly knives, it could be about BMX, it could be about anything that's YouTube appropriate, really. I won't make like a dedicated Q&A video. I'll probably just like answer a few questions at the end of like the next 3 or 4 videos. But yeah, go down there and leave a question if you want. But let's get up on into this tier list, shall we? With me today, I have 20 of the most pointy and oddly shaped guitars I could find on the internet, and I'm going to be throwing them into various tiers today. Speaking of, since it is right around Halloween, and since Michael Myers movies are literally called Halloween, I figured Michael Myers should be our S tier for today's video. And then below that, our A tier is going to be Mr. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I considered putting Jason in the S tier, but again, his franchise isn't called Halloween, and it's Halloween, so that was my thought process. And then below that in B tier, we have Mr. Freddy Krueger. He was my favorite horror villain growing up, which is a little unfortunate because didn't he originally get killed because he was like diddling kids or something like that? I should have paid more attention to the plot when I was a kid. That is an unfortunate realization. But yeah, Freddy Krueger is going to be our B tier. And then down here at C tier, which is usually our mid tier for these tier lists, we've got Mr. Ghostface. Now calm down. I like Ghostface just as much as everyone else. I think the AI trend of putting Ghostface behind you was one of the more stupid ways we have wasted our fresh water, but so I guess that's why we're putting him in the mid tier. And then our D tier is going to be Mr. Leatherface. And this tier is reserved for the guitars that are trying way too hard. Like, you think about what Leatherface does to his victims, and it's like, who are you trying to impress? What are you trying to do here? And I feel like some of these pointy guitars are the exact same way. It's like, it's too much. It's just too much. Sometimes you just got to be told that you're doing too much. It's not a bad thing. You're just doing too much. I've been told that I'm doing too much. Quite recently, actually, and you just got to take it as a learning experience. And then our F tier is, oh shit, I forgot. Christopher Columbus was from the last tier list. I forgot to get rid of him. I mean, you could make a horror movie where Christopher Columbus is definitely the villain, but I don't want to hurt the snowflakes too much in today's video, so we'll change it up. I know what we can do. Our F tier is going to be the Leprechaun from The Leprechaun. I don't think I need to explain any further. All right, I think we've wasted plenty of time. Let's get into this tier list. Starting off with everyone's pointy guitar hero, Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. Eddie Munson became quite the famous boy, and the BC Rich that they made for the show is pretty stanky, I can't lie. From a distance, it almost looks like it's like a red leopard print or something like that, but it's actually a red crackle finish, like what Kiesel and Jackson and all them critters do to make it. It was like an 80s thing, and it's a BC Rich Warlock, which I gotta tell you guys a story. When I started playing guitar, it was in my 7th grade guitar class, but you know how your guitar class will do like a concert twice a year. And there was one kid in 8th grade who had already been playing guitar for a while, and he had a BC Rich Warlock. And for one concert, he did a solo of All Nightmare Long, and then the second one, he did Master of Puppets. And that shit blew my mind. And that's one of the reasons why I like seriously committed to learning guitar. I think Mr. Eddie Munson belongs in the Michael Myers category. Moving up next, we've got a regular on these tier lists. We've got Mr. Zakk Wylde and his Wild Audio Warhammer. I like Warhammer, I like SGs, and I like Flying Vs. This guitar is like all 3 of those combined. In my humble, throbbing opinion, I think this is one of the better Wild Audio shapes, which is based off the ones that the Gibson Custom Shop made him that are literally Flying Vs with SG horns. And it's called the Warhammer. I love Warhammer. Like, have you guys watched Space King yet? If you like Warhammer, you should watch Space King. It's pretty good. I think the Wild Audio Warhammer can go into the Jason Voorhees category. What is going on here? Up next, we've got Mr. Mick Thompson of Slipknot fame and his Ibanez, what was this thing called? I think it was called like an MTM 100 or something like that. I wrote it down. I can look. Yeah, it was called the MTM 100. It was only ever a prototype. I don't even think they made production versions of these, but I think it looks neat. It almost looks like a Rhodes V with some SG horns on there, and then they just like carved out the bottom of the V a little bit more. I kind of like it. Like the more I look at it, the more it's kind of growing on me. I think Mick Thompson's MTM 100 prototype also belongs in the Jason Voorhees category. Moving on to this quirky character, we have everybody's favorite Shredder, Kerry King from Slayer. So after he broke up with BC Rich, Kerry King moved over to Dean, and he has his like Kerry King Flying V that Dean is making for him. But they also have this custom shop guitar called the Overlord, and it's like $6,000. And the only time I've ever seen Kerry King actually play this guitar is in this like promotional poster for that guitar. So this is the Dean Overlord. It's a little silly. I like how they are trying their darndest to make it look like a BC Rich headstock. I don't know. I feel like this design has potential to be cool. This is going to be one of the first ones that's going into the Leatherface category, because that guitar is trying a little bit too hard. We've got this guitar that I absolutely loved when I was a young boy, the Mineric Inferno. This right here is a bass version that, as you can see, Lemmy from Motorhead was playing. But they do make 6-string guitar versions of this quirky little guy also, and it's, man, that is a big hunk of wood that they use for this guitar. I vividly remember reading one of the WWE magazines, and Edge did an article about his guitar collection, and he owned a blue one of these, and I thought it was so damn cool. Now that my frontal lobe is fully developed, it's I don't think it's for me. I think it belongs in Leprechaun, if we're being honest. The more I look at it, the more my disdain grows for it, so that's got to be one that goes into the Leprechaun category. I'm sorry, Lemmy. Moving on, we have Mr. Dimebag Darrell, and here we have a styrofoam version of what would become the Dean Razorback. Now, they did make real versions of this guitar. Like, you can find these guitars and you can still buy them. However, there aren't any pictures of Dimebag Darrell playing this guitar. It's basically a Dean ML that they just whittled a bunch of sharp edges onto it. I really like this like blue DNA thing they got going on, but they've got a ton of different graphics for this guitar. Like, one of the more popular ones is this rust graphic. It's very good like Halloween themed guitar as well. It's a lot, but I don't think it's too much. I think it looks pretty good. I think Dimebag Darrell's Razorback also belongs in the Jason Voorhees category. Oh boy, this next one is an absolute meme. So here we have Mr. Edward Van Halen, another regular on these tier lists, and this thing that was called the Charvel Hydra. I don't know why it looks like the state of Oklahoma flipped upside down, but someone thought that would look cool as a guitar, and I know a tier list or two ago, I said every guitar that Eddie Van Halen owned should always go in the S tier, but that was before I knew this guitar existed. It's not good. I guess Ed Roman made a version of this guitar also, because of course he fucking did. I don't like the Oklahoma guitar. I'm sorry guys, I do not like it. I think it is trying way too hard, so it is going to go into the Leatherface category. I'm sorry, Eddie. That is not the only Hydra guitar we're going to look at today. We've also got Mr. Steve Vai's Hydra. Is it better? I think it's better overall. It's just a lot, you know? Speaking of Hydra, you should listen to Orbit Culture's song called Hydra. It's so good. But yeah, Steve Vai had this guitar specifically made for a song that he plays live called The Teeth of Hydra. And it uses this 12-string, the 6-string, and the 4-string headless bass at the end. It's a sight to behold, I tell you what. It's not Leprechaun. I'm thinking about putting it in Leatherface, but the other Hydra is already in Leatherface, and I feel like this Hydra is better than this one. We'll put it in Ghostface. It's bordering on too much, but it's better than the Charvel Hydra, so we'll put him in Ghostface. Mr. Michelangelo Batio and his double guitars that are, well, his pointy ones. He's got a couple. So this is sort of like double guitar where it's like a V and he's doing this the whole time. It looks very silly when there's not a guitar here. Yeah, Michelangelo Batio, super virtuosic, shreddy kind of player. He can like fret and strum with either arm. So he made these like V-shaped double neck guitars. It's very impressive. It looks very cool. And I like this one specifically because it's supposed to look like an aircraft or like a jet. I think Mr. Michelangelo Batio's double guitar can go into the Freddy Krueger category. We haven't put anyone in there yet, and I think that's a good place for it. Up next, this one is a doozy. So most of these guitars are associated with metal guitar players, but this guitar was used in ABBA. This is very commonly called the ABBA star guitar. It looks less like a star and more like the bubble that like a sound effect would go in a comic book. They should make a version of the star guitar to where it's like a comic book kind of thing, red and orange, and just says like kapow or something like that. The ABBA star guitar can go into the Freddy Krueger category. Continuing on with the pop artists playing metal guitars, we have Miss Phoebe Bridgers. And as you can see right here, she's playing one of the Stranger Things BC Rich Warlocks. It might be hard to notice, but it's there, trust me. But yeah, this is Phoebe Bridgers. She's another really big pop artist. I feel like just for the sake of everyone's mental health, they should see this picture of Phoebe Bridgers at least once. She makes more like girly music, but she plays BC Rich Warlocks. Like, this is her playing live in front of tens of thousands of people. What was it called? Yeah, it's a Bronze Series BC Rich Warlock. Those are like the really affordable ones. Oh, that is such a flex. I believe she played this exact same guitar on SNL. Like, she's got a few Warlocks though. She's got this real budget one, she's got the Stranger Things one, and then she's also got like one of these newer ones that has the abalone binding all throughout it. And because of that, obviously, Miss Phoebe Bridgers belongs in the Michael Myers category. We have Mr. Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein of Misfits fame, and of Doyle fame, and of Frankenstein fame, and of, he's in a lot of bands. And we are going to be looking at his hand-built Annihilator. Dean actually also made a version of this guitar, but this version that he regularly plays, I believe he built it himself. Yeah, I actually met this guy once at a Comic-Con. He was very, he couldn't be bothered, I'll say that. But then he eventually made a partnership with Dean for them to make their own version of the Annihilator, and it's pretty similar. It's not exact. I am personally of the opinion that Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein's Annihilator is a bit too much, so it belongs in the Leatherface category. Trucking right along, we have Max Cavalera and his signature LTD. So as we all know, Max Cavalera is one of the co-creators of the band Sepultura, if you will. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting body shape. It's pretty cool though. I think it's growing on me a little bit more the more I look at it. So I think Max Cavalera's RPR LTDs go in Freddy Krueger. Mr. Slash of Guns N' Roses and a lot of other bands, and his red BC Rich Mockingbird. Is it the Mockingbird or is it the Mockingjay? No, that's Hunger Games. I'm getting confused. But yeah, Slash is probably like one of the most known Les Paul guys in existence, but he also enjoys his BC Rich Mockingbirds and BC Rich bitches and shit like that. And yeah, he plays this red Mockingbird quite often. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a red Mockingbird. I don't think it's this exact version with the flame top. However, the actual guitar itself, like the guitar shape and the guitar itself, is pretty sweet, I can't lie. It's got a Floyd Rose. I am curious to know what all these switches and doodads do. You know, we'll put it in Jason Voorhees. Moving on, we've got yet another Wild Audio guitar, and this time we have the Berserker. So you may be wondering why I'm using a picture of Taylor Danley, and that's because I have yet to find a picture of Zakk Wylde actually playing the Wild Audio Berserker. And I know Taylor Danley made a video about it, and he also gave me money on the street one time, so shout out to Taylor Danley. But yeah, this is the Wild Audio Berserker. It's a lot. It's really something, I tell you what. Wild ass shape. I don't know about the three-way toggle being right there. That seems like it would get in the way a little more than I would like it to. You know what? I kind of like it. However, it is a lot. It's a little too much, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves. It's a cool guitar, but it's a little too much. Moving on to another famous YouTuber, we have Mr. Ola England. I couldn't find a picture of anyone actually playing this guitar. There's a video of Ola playing the guitar, but you don't see Ola's face. So, but yeah, we're talking about one of his Solar guitars, one of his Dimebag Tribute X1s. But specifically, we're looking at the Pink Cannibalismo version, which looks freaking sick. So my roommate is also a guitar player, but she mostly plays acoustic. She really likes playing like Taylor Swift and the Cranberries and shit like that. And she really wanted this guitar. I think it's a damn good looking guitar. But yeah, here's another picture of it. Dude, they look so cool. And every splatter paint job is different, so they're all gonna look a little bit different. This one looks extra cool. That goes in the Michael Myers category. That is a damn good looking pointy guitar, my friends. We're in the home stretch here, my friends, and we've got yet another Michelangelo Batio guitar. But this isn't his double neck guitar. No, this is his quad neck guitar. What if we took two double guitars and we just glued them together. Yeah, it's literally just a vehicle for him to flex on everyone with. And it's sick watching him play these things, but it's a lot. I think it's too much. Like, look at how big this thing is. It's too much. It's a cool concept, but it's too much. It is going in the Leatherface category, where all the too much guitars go to be too much. Speaking of too much, we are back to Mr. Kerry King, but this time we're going to be looking at one of his BC Rich guitars. One that not a lot of people really knew about. This is the BC Rich Kerry King Beast V, and it's literally a Kerry King V with two big spikes, somewhat akin to the Zakk Wylde SGV Warhammer thing, just a lot more aggressive, a lot more angsty, a lot more edgy, and you know what? I like this one. I think it looks cool. It's very edgelordy, but I think it looks cool. I'm sorry. We've all got our guilty pleasures. What can I say? I think the Kerry King Beast V should go into the Jason Voorhees category. I think I like it that much. We are going to finish the show off with a couple goofy ones, my friends. So here we have Machine Gun Kelly. You're probably wondering why I chose this picture of him holding a razor blade on his tongue. And that's because he has a signature Schecter guitar that is literally a razor blade. Did you also lose a few brain cells right there? Because I sure did. Just reeks of angsty middle schooler energy. It's too much. It's going in the Leatherface category, and that's where it belongs. And we got one more quirky little guy. It's Gene Simmons and his axe bass. And axes are sharp and basses count as guitars. It's an axe that's literally an axe. Like, the pun potential in that alone is what gets me. But what's funny is that Cort, that funny little brand that makes like everyone's guitar, they also made a 6-string guitar version. And also rest in peace Ace Frehley. He was a pretty quirky guy too. But I think the Gene Simmons axe bass, I think it can go in the Freddy Krueger category. So normally I wrap these up pretty quickly once we're done finishing the tier list, but I just want to look at this for a second and make sure I don't want to change anything, because everyone's mind changes every now and then, and mine does. Mine is pretty prone to changing because I am mentally ill, guys. I got OCD, impulsive as hell, dramatic as all shit. It's a mess, guys. You know what? I think I'm gonna put Michelangelo Badio's double guitar into Ghostface as well. I don't like it. I don't like it that much. I think this is where I'm gonna leave the tier list. I think that's a good spot for it. I would own the Stranger Things Warlock, and I would own the Solar X1. But these crazy shapes, I would definitely play them, but I don't know if I'd have it in me to own one. And I think with that, we are gonna wrap up my Pointy guitar tier list for All Hallows Eve 2025. Thank you all so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, go down there and give the like button a little paddling. I would appreciate that. As always, go down there, leave me a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions. I love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you regularly watch my videos and you haven't already subscribed, then the beating I'm going to put on you is going to be indescribable. Big shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Solar Flare, Rob Heath, Bad Joe Guitars, Brandon's Ballast Corner, Bandage Knives, Jan Chocolate, Leagues Beneath, Scott Toman, Big Tills, Torch of Hope, Mr. Crazy, and our two newest members, Ollie Gilbert and Dimitris Churush. Am I saying that right? Churush? Shurish? Is it Demetrius or is it Dimitri? I don't know. You're gonna have to let me know. Sometimes I mess these names up and I don't want to do that. But these big old badonkadonks are my current channel members, and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join them, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help support this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 shleemies. There's also the super thanks button down there if you just want to give me some money. But I am done being a tool. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.